Hello again, AJ Wildman, and this video brief is on cannabis legalization and making it a small business in America. Okay, under this proposal, we will fully legalize and decriminalize marijuana, cannabis, across the U.S. and all 50 states and the District of Columbia. It will be available for medical and personal use, recreational use, right? And we will probably follow at the state level, okay, the model set up in Colorado, which seems to be working very well. It's bringing in a whole lot of tax revenue, which makes everybody happy. And it also has decreased crime in the state, which is another thing we want to do, so we can eventually bring down the cost of all the police forces in the country, all right? And we've had so much trouble with that lately. Okay, now, we will not allow big business to take over the pot industry, which is what they're trying to do now behind the scenes. That's why it's taking so long for this to get state by state to get pot legalized so people can have it. Right? Big business is working behind the scenes to do that because everybody in every state is saying, well, how can I arrange this with the legislators so I can get a piece of it? Well, we're going to turn it into a small business only industry. Provide SBA loans, Small Business Administration loans for people, so they can get started, right? And a lot of states are already putting the stuff in, the machinery in place. They're just trying to get it through their legislatures. Okay. One of the things I did when I first left the computer business, I finished my first book, and called Common Interest, 320 pages, simple little book, not the best thing in the world, but the second book was a lot better. Anyway. But I also wrote first thing I really published was the National Drug Reform Proposal, about 140 pages on how you could get rid of hard drugs in America, clean up the addicts, and as a result, hard drugs would be out of America and pot would be fully legalized. That's a practical solution for a couple of different reasons. Now, of course, marijuana, hemp, as I said in the earlier video, is a commercial product. Cannabis is a God-given medical product, all right? It's been used for thousands of years. It's one of the oldest medicines in the world. Came out of China and India originally, all right? And that's just what it does. It's one of the big things you hear about, primary things you hear about over the years, is it's really good for people that have stomach issues, people on chemotherapy, people with AIDS, all right? What it does is it creates an appetite for people. Yes, people get stoned and they get the munchies. We all know that, all right? But what it does for somebody with suffering from chemotherapy and other issues like that can't keep food down, can't keep their medicine down, it allows them to eat and keep their medicine down. This is a good thing, all right? My mother had cancer in her late 40s, breast, lymph, lung cancer. And she struggled with that for 7 years and died when she was 57 from Winston's. I hate cigarettes, by the way. And if I'd have known what this could have done for her at that time, I'd have gotten her some. All right. So anyway, it has very medicinal uses, and you might be interested to know that the two biggest lobbies against pot legalization, both overtly and covertly, over the years. The second leading group against, or industry against pot legalization is alcohol. Because if people can smoke pot and get their buzz or whatever, they will, and this is well documented, drink less alcohol. Okay? It's just the way it works. So a little historical note. Napoleon was in the wars, I believe, over in the far east, or Middle East, maybe Turkey, okay, Eastern Europe. His troops were introduced to cannabis, right? And they smoked it or ate it over there. And what happened is they started using it a bit more often than their normal brandy. So they were able to sleep at night, wake up in the morning not only rested, but they didn't have a hangover. So Napoleon, of all people, and his troops brought it back to France from the wars. It was there for a while. Eventually went to England, and Queen Elizabeth I used it for pain. Okay? Go figure. And then it came over to New York and spread from there. Okay? The biggest group or industry against pot legalization, of course, is the pharmaceutical industry, because they are going to take a major hit when this stuff is legalized, right? It will help people with stomach issues, it'll help the entire digestive tract, it's good for pain and a lot of other things, certain eye issues. So it's just time for the foolishness to stop. And they say, well, you know, it needs more research. Well, it doesn't need any more research. Pot and all other drugs were made totally legal in the Netherlands in the mid-70s. Now, the total number of people, in case you didn't know, that have died from overdosing on pot-only use in Europe, I mean in the Netherlands, and in this country, in all those years, is 0. Okay? You cannot overdose from pot-only use. Can't happen. Because what you're going to do is fall asleep. You smoke enough of it, you'll go to sleep. And you'll sleep very well. So, anyway. What we're going to also do, since we're going to fully decriminalize this, okay, we are going to, anyone who's in prison for pot-only sales, use, whatever, right, usually sales, will be released, okay? They'll come out, they'll go on probation, and they'll have their records, they will have their records cleared of these charges, right? We're going to quit arresting over 700,000 people a year on pot, okay, of all kinds of people, okay? Clean their records up. I mean, people get this little bit of pot, and the police officer gives them, you know, a ticket, and go through court, and they get this on their record. It prevents them from, you know, sometimes getting into the military, getting jobs. This is ridiculous. All right, so it will come to a logical and practical end. Pretty much all I've got to say on that. So, with hemp being a commercial product for us, creating raw materials and jobs, and pot will help people with their health, and we'll quit locking up people for something that is documented less harmful for them than alcohol. So that's about all on that, and take care. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.